What is up, YouTube? Crypto Clay here, and today we're going to be discussing one of my favorite things in the world, and that is trading cryptocurrencies. For those of you that are brand new to trading cryptocurrencies, this is going to be a complete guide for how to get started all the way up to experienced crypto trading. It's going to be a three-part guide, so I'm going to be doing the first video today on exchanges. For those of you that don't know what an exchange is, it's basically a place where you go to exchange one thing for another. Crazy. It's almost like it's in the name. But that's a very simplistic way of describing it. Some exchanges allow you to trade the US dollar or whatever your currency, your country's currency is, for cryptocurrencies. Others only do cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency trading. So you have to be very wary whenever you sign up for these exchanges as to what it is that you want to be trading. If you want to be trading your currency, your country's currency for cryptocurrencies, then you need to make sure that that exchange is capable of doing that transaction. A lot of them do not do that, just so you know. A lot of exchanges only do cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency trading. So be very, very vigilant whenever you're signing up for these. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Today I'm going to be discussing a bunch of exchanges that I have used from firsthand experience, and I'm going to be telling you guys which exchanges to use potentially and which exchanges to stay away from. And again, that is all going to be based on personal experience from myself. So if you have somebody else tell you that they've had a different experience with one of these exchanges that I mentioned today, then you are going to have to decide what you want to do with that. But let's jump right into it. All right, guys, before we begin, I'd just like to say that these are in no particular order. These are the exchanges that I would recommend for use. However, again, that's solely up to you. You are going to have to do what you feel is right for you. Not all exchanges are for everyone, and I completely understand that. If you do decide to use any of these exchanges, please let me know your experience. Let me know what you think of them, and if you enjoyed today's video, please use some of the links that I have in my description below. It helps me out, and with some of those links, it actually can help you out as well. This first exchange that we're going to look at is going to be Gemini. Now, this exchange is actually owned by the Winklevoss twins, and for those of you that don't know who those guys are, they are the twin brothers that won their court case against Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg stealing their idea. They won a huge settlement with that. A lot of their money that they earned from that settlement, they put into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency investments. One of those investments was actually a cryptocurrency exchange that we now know as Gemini. And this is that exchange. Now, the UI on this exchange is incredibly simple. It's a very basic exchange. You go in with the sole purpose of purchasing cryptocurrencies for US dollars. This cryptocurrency exchange is located here in the US. So again, what you'll see is US dollar values. And like I said, this is a very basic exchange that just allows you to go in and purchase cryptocurrencies with US dollars. There are not many trades that you can make, obviously. These are the only cryptocurrencies that are available for trading right here. If your sole purpose is to just go in and purchase Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin, then this might be the exchange for you. Now, with that being said, there are some really great features with this, but there are some drawbacks. One of the great features about this exchange is its interface on your phone. The phone application with this is very, very nice looking. It's probably one of the nicest UIs I've seen on any of the exchanges. They have this application on the phone app that allows you to say, okay, I just want to get into the market, and it'll purchase all of these cryptocurrencies that are on the exchange in certain percentages that it thinks is right for you, which is a really cool feature in my opinion, especially for those of you that might be brand new to cryptocurrencies and you just want to get your feet wet. You want to join an exchange. You don't want to do all the research required for each cryptocurrency. However, I definitely think that you should. Anytime you make an investment, you should always do your own research on those specific investments. But if you don't want to take all the time to do all that research, that option is there for you. I think that's a really cool feature. That is Gemini Exchange. Very basic, very simple. One of the drawbacks to Gemini Exchange, though, is its fees. It does have decently high fees, which is one of the reasons that I don't use this exchange. Another reason, obviously, for me is that it just doesn't have very many trading pairs. Now, for those of you, like I said, that are just trying to get into the market, this might be the perfect exchange for you. All right, moving on. The next exchange we're going to be talking about is Coinbase. This is one of my favorite exchanges. However, depending on who you talk to, they might have a completely different opinion. The reason that I love Coinbase is because they have been incredibly reliable throughout the years. Now, you might have some hiccups every now and then when transactions get to be very high. Whenever you see price spikes in Bitcoin, this exchange specifically has lagged a few times and had to halt trading altogether. This was the very first exchange that I know of that would allow you to actually trade US dollars for cryptocurrencies in a KYC manner. So another thing about that, because they do the KYC verification, they also took it to the next level and added FDIC insurance on this exchange. So for any US dollars that you have on this exchange at all, that is insured. Now, cryptocurrencies obviously can't be insured by the FDIC. It's only a US dollar insurance. So if you have cryptocurrencies on the exchange, that is obviously not going to be insured. However, you should never have cryptocurrencies on an exchange. You always want to pull that off as quickly as possible and hold it in your own wallet. Don't look at my portfolio balance on Coinbase right now. I'm going to be pulling this money off of the exchange, so it will not stay there. I promise you that. It will not stay on this exchange. I don't like leaving cryptocurrencies on any exchanges. Just don't look at that portfolio balance right now. Another feature about Coinbase is its Pro Coinbase application. So here I'm showing you Coinbase Pro, which is the same exchange. It's still Coinbase technically, but the fees are a lot lower on this application than the Coinbase that I just showed you. So this is Coinbase.com. This is their main website. On here, the fees are going to be a little bit higher. However, the UI on this is incredibly simple. If you want to trade something, you go to the trade button right there, buy, sell, or convert, and it's as easy as that. You select whatever cryptocurrency you want to buy right there on that list. You select how you want to pay for it, and then you select buy Bitcoin. It is that simple, guys, on Coinbase. They make it very, very simple. However, Coinbase Pro is a little bit more for experienced traders. On this, it allows you to set your buys and sells. The Coinbase website, this exchange, their basic exchange, doesn't allow you to set a price or a sell order. It's going to be whatever the market value of that cryptocurrency is. On Coinbase Pro, like I said, it allows you to set the price and the sell of that specific order. Also, if you purchase anything with US dollars on Coinbase, you can move it over to Coinbase Pro for free. You purchase something with US dollars, you move it over to Coinbase Pro, you start trading into cryptocurrencies with that US dollar purchase that you made. And by doing that, you incur a lot less fees. Another really awesome thing about Coinbase Pro, you can see all of the trade history on this exchange, whereas on just the basic Coinbase website, you can't see any of that. So you see exactly what is happening on the exchange right now with buys and sells. So again, that's going to be a little bit more for experienced traders and not necessarily somebody beginning. But once you get to that point, I would highly encourage you, if you are using Coinbase, to maybe switch over to the Pro application. And again, if you want to use Coinbase and you move cryptocurrencies over from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro, there are definitely tutorials on how to do that. It's very, very simple. The next exchange that I want to talk about is Binance, and Binance is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. For those of you that have heard anything about cryptocurrencies, you've probably heard about the last two exchanges that I've talked about, Coinbase and Binance. Like I said, Binance is one of the largest exchanges in the world, and the reason for that is it has so many different trading pairs. People that want to get into different altcoins usually use exchanges like Binance. Binance is a very reputable exchange. It's definitely one of the best when it comes to high liquidity. In the recent price surge of Bitcoin, it has definitely been one of the best performing exchanges as far as no outages or anything like that. I really appreciate that about Binance. Another thing is, at one point, Binance had to halt all US customers from trading on their platform, so they brought us a Binance US exchange. Right now, I am on that exchange. It is called Binance.us. So if you want to use Binance, but you're in the US, you would be using this exchange. There are not as many pairs for trading on Binance.us, but it allows you to trade against the US dollar on the pairs that they do have. And then they do have some Bitcoin exchanges as well. If you are in the US, this is the exchange that you would use. The UI on this exchange is definitely not my favorite. However, if you click right here on the trading view button right here, it actually shows you charts based on what you would see on TradingView, and it allows you to add any indicators that you want to that chart. Again, this layout of the exchange itself is not my favorite, but it works. This is their actual comparison to Coinbase Pro. This is their Pro version of their exchange. This is their basic version of their exchange. So I actually like this layout a little bit better. Oh, I'm sorry, I had that backwards. This is their basic layout. This is their Pro layout. Sorry about that. Like I said, I like this a little bit better, just the way it looks. The UI is definitely a lot better in my opinion. And then on top of that, it allows you to set your market limit and stop limit orders on this. One thing that I do appreciate about Binance that they do is the amount, like if you wanted to place, let's say you had 2,000 basic attention tokens. Let's say you only wanted to trade 25% of that. They make it very simple by just placing these buttons here for you. 25% of 2,000 is going to be 500. So if you only wanted to trade 500 basic attention tokens, you would just click that button there and go to trade that. The next cryptocurrency exchange that we're going to talk about is Kraken. Now, Kraken has been around for a long time as well, and it allows you to trade with US dollars. One thing that you'll notice on this exchange that you won't on others is the ticker for Bitcoin. They label Bitcoin as XBT as opposed to BTC everywhere else. So that has nothing to do with the exchange at all. It's just gee-whiz information that I thought I'd share with you guys. The UI on this exchange is honestly one of my least favorite. However, I trust this exchange. It is a very reputable exchange. I've used it many times. And another really awesome thing about this exchange is that they allow you to trade with leverage. For those of you that don't know what leverage is, it's basically trading on margin. If you have a certain amount of money, you can place a margin trade based on the amount of money that you have on the exchange, allowing you to trade with a little bit more leverage than what you actually have. Kraken uses a very nice UI for its Pro application. Like these other exchanges that I've showed you, Kraken also has this like Pro UI. For those of you that don't know, it's actually CryptoWatch that they're using for this Pro UI. From here, you log into Kraken and you can buy, sell, trade, and if you want to use leverage, here are your options right here. Again, just like with Binance that we saw, they have these buttons here for 25, 50, 75, and 100%. For your quantity of tokens that you're willing to trade. This UI is one of my favorites as well. I really like the CryptoWatch UI. So that's why I've used this exchange so much in the past. I can honestly say from firsthand experience that this has been one of the most secure exchanges that I've traded on. I haven't ever had any issues with getting my cryptocurrencies off of the exchange. I don't know of any hacks that Kraken has ever incurred. If they had more cryptocurrencies to trade, that would make it a lot better, and I think we would see a lot more people using this exchange. Right now, it's kind of similar to Coinbase. It doesn't have very many assets to trade against, but I believe that they're working on adding more to this specific exchange, so look forward to that. The next exchange we're going to talk about is Bittrex, and this is another one of those cryptocurrency exchanges that has been around for a long time. Are you starting to see a trend? The older the exchange, for the most part, the more secure it probably is, because they've had time to build up that security. They've had time to build up the assets required for high liquidity trading. You're going to want to look for some of the older exchanges. Now, that rule obviously doesn't apply to everything. There are some exchanges that I would tell you to stay away from that are older, and I'll talk about a couple of them later on. But this exchange has been around, like I said, for a long time, and it allows you to trade against the US dollar as well. This exchange, however, if you're located in the US, this is one of the bigger exchanges as far as altcoins go. As you can see, there are a lot of pairs to trade against with Bitcoin and the US dollar. So that's one of the things that I really love about this exchange. The creator of this exchange actually used to work for Microsoft, so he knows what he's doing. He hired a lot of great developers early on to help him build this exchange. The UI for this exchange used to be terrible, and now the UI for this exchange is very, very nice. I really like the way it's laid out. I like all of the trading pairs, like I mentioned before, that you can use on this specific exchange. And I like the fact that you can trade against the US dollar. So this is, again, going to be another one of my favorite cryptocurrency exchanges. I trust this cryptocurrency exchange. back whenever everybody was trading on Poloniex and it was having all of its issues, a lot of people actually moved over to Bittrex at that point. I was one of those people. When Poloniex started having all of its outages, I moved over to Bittrex, and I loved this exchange. I loved trading on this exchange. I haven't placed any trades on this exchange recently. However, I would still definitely tell somebody that this is a good exchange to use. So that's my list of exchanges that I would recommend to anybody that is just getting into cryptocurrencies. Out of those exchanges, Coinbase and Gemini are going to be the easiest to use getting started, especially if you're trying to link a bank account or a debit card to your account to get started by buying cryptocurrencies. Those are the two that I would suggest using the most. The next thing that we're going to be talking about, though, is exchanges that I don't trust, that I wouldn't recommend for anybody to use, not even my worst enemies. And the reason that I say that is going to be explained in each specific exchange that we go over. The first exchange that I would tell you not to use and not to trust with a 10-foot pole is Bittrex. And the reason that I tell you not to use this exchange is, one, if you're in the US, you can't even use this exchange. Two, this exchange has been hacked on a couple of occasions and lost millions and millions of dollars. I think the last time it was hacked, it lost almost $1 billion in cryptocurrency. And what they did was they used their asset, Tether, which not many people know that Bittrex actually owns Tether. They used Tether to leverage the assets that they lost in continuing operations on Bittrex. Instead of admitting that they lost all those funds immediately, they just printed a lot of Tether to make up for their losses. It's a very shady practice. I don't encourage anybody to use this exchange. I've made videos in the past of me using this exchange back before they kicked US customers off. Looking back on it now, I probably should have shied away from this exchange, and I never should have used it in the first place based on history. I'm telling you guys now, don't use this exchange if you're located outside of the US. It's a very shady exchange, and I don't trust anything that they do on the business side of things. The next exchange that I'm going to tell you guys to stay away from is another exchange that actually kicked US customers off, Poloniex. So this exchange has had its ups and downs. This exchange has been bought out on multiple occasions. It's been operated by many different people. And when push comes to shove, I don't like the performance of this cryptocurrency during high peak times. Every time there has been a spike in the price of Bitcoin and things just get crazy on the markets, this exchange has always underperformed. It's had outages, it's had blackouts, and when the exchange would come back up, the prices would be ridiculous. People that would try to get out of trades during the outage were screwed whenever the exchange came back up, and they usually lost money during those times. Poloniex is another exchange that I would just tell you to stay away from. The next exchange is actually an exchange that I had to learn my lesson from about a year ago. I placed a trade on this exchange with Tezos, and I definitely learned my lesson. There wasn't anywhere that said that you couldn't retrieve your Tezos from the exchange. I placed a trade for Tezos and tried to withdraw those Tezos from the exchange, and the exchange wouldn't let me. It said that I couldn't do that, and so basically I incurred a bunch of fees to trade back into Bitcoin to get my Bitcoin off of the exchange. There was nowhere posted that you couldn't withdraw Tezos from this exchange. So I incurred a bunch of fees for absolutely no reason at all on this exchange, and I went back and started doing a little bit of research on this exchange, and it has a bunch of shady practices like that. A lot of people seem to think that due to low liquidity, they're doing a bunch of shady business practices to maintain their exchange and keep their operations going. That's all I'm going to say about this exchange. It's just not one that I would recommend for people due to an experience that I've had and also some of the reviews that I've read on this exchange. The next two exchanges that I want to talk about are known not for their cryptocurrency trading, but because of the fact that you can trade other assets on these exchanges. These are mainly stock exchanges, but you can trade cryptocurrencies on these two exchanges. However, the fees on these exchanges are very high, and also you do not own the cryptocurrencies on these exchanges. So if you place a trade for Bitcoin on either of these exchanges or any other cryptocurrencies, you cannot withdraw them. You do not own these assets. You're just trading the market, essentially. If Bitcoin goes up, your portfolio on that exchange will go up, but you do not actually own any of these assets. Because of that, I can't recommend anybody to use either of these exchanges, eToro or Robinhood. And the reason I say that is on a fundamental level. I think that cryptocurrencies were designed for people to become their own banks. And you can't really do that if you can't withdraw your funds. If you're going to trade cryptocurrencies and you're not planning on doing a trade that specific day, you should be holding your cryptocurrencies in some sort of wallet that you own the keys to. And I'll get more into that in my next video. However, that's what I wanted to say about these two exchanges. Please don't go on these exchanges thinking that you can withdraw your funds, because you can't. These exchanges are specifically for trading against the market. With that being said, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you learned a thing or two about exchanges as far as where to trade and where not to trade. This is just a very basic guide. There are so many exchanges out there. Like every day a new exchange is popping up on the internet, and I highly encourage you to do your research on them before you just dump your money into any one particular exchange. There are a lot of exchanges out there that are very shady, that just want to take your money and run. But then you have a lot of reputable cryptocurrency exchanges that have been around for a while, that many people use on a day-to-day basis, that I would encourage you to use. But again, please be very vigilant when using cryptocurrency exchanges. This is where it all starts. If you want to start trading cryptocurrencies on a day or swing trading basis, then this is where you have to go to start doing that. You can get burned very easily, or you can make a lot of money I don't want to say easily, but you can make a lot of money if you take the time and do the research. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Like I said, I hope you learned a thing or two about some of these cryptocurrency exchanges, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Crypto Clay out.